Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for May 2022. So on May 24th, we have Mars, the god of war, ruling over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desire, even our anger, moving out of Piscean energy and into Aries energy. Now, this is a big deal for a couple of reasons. First of all, it takes Mars 2 years to go through all of the signs. Secondly, Aries is its place of power. Third, Mars moving out of Pisces is essentially ending, closing a chapter where we are moving away from old energies, old actions, old behaviors. We are closing old desires, old passions, and now we are getting fired up to initiate, to begin something new. So we are going to feel a huge shift, a huge push. And what's even more interesting is that the moon will be moving into Aries as well. And you may remember Jupiter is in Aries, just barely making its way into the very beginning degrees, which means that there's a lot of fire energy. What do we know about fire? Well, it brings us back to life. It gives us a spark. It shows us where it is that we can disconnect from the past and where it is that we can set our focus on the here and now, what we can do in the here and now in order to start putting the elements in place that's going to help manifest the future vision, the future dream, the future goal. So my Aries friends and my Scorpio friends are likely going to feel this shift the most because, of course, Mars rules over Aries and co-rules over Scorpio. Regardless, you have Aries energy in your chart, and depending on where it shows up in your chart, this is where you're going to feel the push. This is where you're going to feel new energy move in, a new cycle unfold. Now, we are going to get an energy boost. Now, this can come in excitement, motivation, inspiration, passion. Can also fester up a lot of anger, a lot of aggression, a lot of frustration. We have to be able to tap into this energy and sustain this energy because, as we've been exploring, Aries energy has the tendency to go balls to the walls and then lose the energy, not being able to sustain the energy in order to actually see the end goal come to life. So this particular energy is going to add a little bit of spontaneity back into our lives. Again, we are not looking in the rearview mirror. This is going to be hard for us because, of course, Mercury is retrograde, Pluto is retrograde, and as much as we kinda need to look back in order to gain perspective in the here and now before we go strategizing about the future, this Mars energy isn't going to have us looking back and blocked emotionally or mentally by past experiences. This is where we kind of tap in to a brand new courage, a brand new bravery. We aren't willing to let the past dictate our present nor our future. This kind of triggers our rebellion, our competitive spirit. And all of us just want to win. We all just want to be happy. We all just want to reach that reality where we get to live in a state of being where we're happy, where we're aligned with our passion, aligned with our desires, where essentially we get to win over our current circumstances. Many of us have been positioned with obstacles, with challenges. This particular energy is going to help us bust through that. We kind of, I'm going to say, look at challenges, look at obstacles in a different way because we're coming out of a cycle that was kind of putting us in a funk, making us kind of weak in our energy and our focus. Now we're shifting into this power where we're almost looking for a fight. We're looking for someone to provoke us or a challenge or an obstacle to arise in our path because we want to destroy it. We want to push forward. We will not stop until we actually get to where it is that we want to be. So in this Aries energy, we are going to be physically active, and I need you to really pay attention to the energy in your body, because here's the thing. Because Mars rules over our physical energy, we have to find healthy ways to move the energy through our physical form. So of course, exercise is a great thing, engaging in physical activity, organizing, doing all of these things are a great outlet, because if we don't take action and stimulate our physical form, this energy is going to be restless and impulsive and angry and triggering and anxious and just kind of bounce around inside of us like a pinball machine. We do not want that. So you have to actively engage your physical form, give it a meaning, give it a purpose, give it a focus, and channel that energy in a healthy way. We are definitely going to be more confident, more optimistic under this energy, because this is the spirit of the warrior. We are not letting anything deter us. We are not letting anything break us. Now, that sounds like a very powerful energy, but it could also take us on the other side of the spectrum, where we're just kind of too straightforward, too bullheaded, too focused on pushing through, which could make us overly aggressive, especially in our personal relationships. So in this energy, we would rather act now and deal with the consequences later, which obviously can help in some scenarios. However, can cause a lot of trauma, can cause a lot of drama in other situations. We want to listen to our gut, because right now we're receiving huge amounts of downloads on the fastest way to get from where it is that we're at to where it is that we want to be. The problem is that we're going to be highly impatient, and we could actually overthrow the confidence level to a point of arrogance, which of course isn't going to bode very well for us, especially in our personal relationships. It can trigger impulsivity, which again is a great thing, especially for us overthinkers that tend to put ourselves in a state of paralysis and non-action because we think about it too much. Impulsivity is great because it means that we're not getting caught up in the thought process that prevents us from actually taking action. However, impulsivity is also a bad thing because we can take action on something that we didn't think through, that could cause us trouble, that could be very hurtful to our mission and to those around us. We have to keep in mind that this is about energy management. It's all about energy management in Aries energy. We get that spark, we get that fire, but we have to cultivate a balance. We have to kind of push ourselves to not just go into it and give it everything that we got and then find ourselves burnt out before we even see the end of the finish line. Because Mars in Aries energy is literally about us, me, the individual, we do tend to be a little bit self-centered. We're so focused on what we want, what we need, what we desire, that obviously having that much focus on oneself can create a little bit of drama in personal relationships. We're really going to have to work to be able to, yes, keep the blinders on in order to achieve our own mission and our own goals, but not at the detriment to the people around us that, of course, want to be a part of the dream, the goal, the vision. So we are tapping into new goals. We are tapping into new desires, new passions. We are looking to be blunt, to be straightforward, to tap into our confidence. We are looking to be direct on a path to get us from point A to point B. But also the shadow part of this is bringing up a lot of anger, a lot of frustration. Keep in mind, we are in a retrograde, so things aren't happening at a rate in which we would like to see. That can bring up some frustration. We are also dealing with some other astrological aspects that are kind of holding us back from being too forward, too direct, accomplishing too much. The reason for that is because we're in a time right now, may I remind you, 2022 is a year of perfection and building the foundations that are needed to be strong enough to house our dreams, where we can't just jump into things willy-nilly. We can't just see so much progress and then watch it fall apart in the months to come. So there are these other astrological aspects that are kind of pumping the brakes for us, preventing us from accomplishing too much at one time, because we have to take one step forward and then test that step to see if it's strong enough to take another step, or do we have to step back and maybe rebuild the foundation that we built that step on? That in itself can trigger a lot of anger, a lot of frustration. We really want to initiate something new. Again, Jupiter in Aries wants us to think big, wants us to grow, wants us to improve. So we have that kind of volume, that magnified energy in this Aries energy as well, just making everything that much bigger. Even our thoughts, our feelings are that much bigger. We want to just concentrate on what is our motivating factor. What are we passionate about? What is our main motivation to continuously stay on this path and bust through all the challenges and obstacles that get thrown at us, because there will be many. What we also have to consider with Mars moving into Aries is that this is the masculine energy that we all have inside of us, the aggressor, the survivalist, very much connected to our egoic avatar. We also are going to have the feminine divine energy, Venus, move into her place of power in Taurus on the 28th. Essentially, we have Mars and Venus in their places of power, in their comfort zones. This is going to help us re-establish balance, peace, and harmony in our lives, where it is that within us, we have to tap into the energy that needs to push forward, needs to aggress our wants, needs, and desires. But of course, Venus is the feminine energy, so she wants to kind of let things go with the flow. She wants to be receptive. So we are going to be doing this beautiful cha-cha-cha dance over the next little bit of trying to reestablish balance in our own energies and in our own lives. So bottom line, we have to be mindful of how this fire energy, how this spark is being reignited in our lives. Again, be very mindful of your physical energy. Give it an outlet. Give it an opportunity to channel that energy through so that we're tapping into the healthy, lighter side of Mars being in Aries, and we're not allowing this cluster F of fire energy to bounce around inside of us, creating a lot of chaos, anger, and frustration.